Okay. So what is it gonna be about? Oh, wow. It's my favorite topic. Maybe I should put them on. It's fine. I'll try this. Do it better. How are you doing, Jacob? Not really. I'm just not leaving my house much, but like I wasn't leaving my house much before either, so it's kind of the same thing.
Okay, welcome to the MTG Pro Life podcast. Today we have Ondrej Strasky, Mythic champion, MPL member, top 4 Mythic Invitational, one-time ELO 2193. He's a popular streamer for FTK. He's part of the Czech Magic House. 3-time Worlds competitor. 3 Pro Tour top 8s, including a win. 5 Grand Prix top 8s, including a win. And he's very good at calling out me when I'm lying or exaggerating a bit.
That is true. It happens often.
Many people don't know this, but he's also the Prince of Prague.
That is not true, but okay. That's one of those things when you exaggerate. But yeah, that's me. Hello, everyone. Hi.
So you live with some other pros?
Yes, I live with Ivan Flock, who is very washed up, but he recently qualified for the Arena Pro Tour, Arena Mythic Invitational, and I live with Stan Sivka as well. So 2 PT winners in this house besides me, so it's 3.
3 PT winners. Must be nice to join the club.
It is.
Did they used to make fun of you?
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, they still make fun of me, but now I can always say I won the Pro Tour, so it's nice.
So in my research, it looks like your first Grand Prix was Prague in 2009. When did you start playing Magic?
I think in like 2007. I think it was Planar Chaos.
You must have been pretty young.
Yeah, I was like 12, 11, something like that. Yeah, I started playing in high school, and then my first deck was pre-constructed fungus. Like I don't know what it was, but yeah, it was a tribal deck. I guess that stuck a little bit.
Did you do well at your first Grand Prix?
No, I missed day 2. I went like 3-3 or something.
That's what happens to most people.
Yeah.
Were you playing PTQs?
No, at that point I don't think I was. I was just because I'm not from Prague originally.
Oh, really?
Which,
okay.
Yeah.
That's weird. Since you're the
I'm a prince of different city.
Oh, okay.
And in my like local town, people didn't really play PD Goose. We just played Legacy. So I guess started.
You played Legacy?
Yeah, I played Legacy, and yeah, that was a long time ago.
Did you play Merfolk?
Yeah, was that because back then, Merfolk was like the best deck in Legacy. There was like a couple. I think there was like a year where Merfolk was the best deck, or at the top of the best decks, So I started playing Legacy, so I wasn't playing PD Goose because there were no PD Goose in Legacy.
Were you aware of the Pro Tour and interested in it?
I know the first PT I watched was PD Kyoto. The one.
The Thief and
yeah. I think it was like the first time I like saw the Pro Tour. And yeah. I don't know what year was that, but
I think it was 08.
Yeah. So at that point, I think it was like the first PT I saw. And when I played the Grand Prix, I already knew that something like PT exists, but it was not like a goal of mine or anything at that point.
Did you become friends with the people who played Legacy?
Yeah, I had a lot of friends in my hometown, and then like gradually I found some friends in Prague, like Petr Sahurek, for example. And then, as I got deeper and deeper into the Czech Legacy scene, I started meeting new people, and I met like Lucas Blohon, then eventually I just gradually started playing standards and started trying to qualify.
I always thought it was weird how there's so many good pros from Czech Republic, such a small place.
Yeah,
Some
well,
of the best players.
I think the thing with that is that it's very cheap in Czech Republic. So when you're a professional Magic player, you're actually making a lot of money compared to some other professions in Czech Republic. So I think it's very motivating for people to try and do well in Magic because you can actually make a decent amount of money here.
That's good. Yeah,
No.
I went to Prague once and we rented a whole hotel for like
Yeah,
it still costs less than a U.S. hotel just for
yeah, yeah.
rooms.
I remember we had like a conference room in Hawaii that for 2 days of renting that, it was the same thing as it was like 12 days in Prague
Yeah,
for the whole team. So it was really funny.
it must be. Was probably nice. Were you close friends with Petter since you're a
Yeah,
similar age?
yeah, we go way back.
I
Yes,
assume
yes.
all your other friends were old.
Yeah, I think he was. Well, there were a bunch of younger players too, but I think me and Peter were like the only one who stuck with Magic, I guess, and we always like pushing each other to perform better. Um, and we always had like this competition. Like he would get a first pro point. I don't know. I would play the first pro tour. Um, he would like do well at his first pro tour. Then I would top eight a pro tour. Then he would win a GP, and we went back and forth. But I think it's now safe to say that I'm way better than him. So uh,
Were you better at the beginning too?
I don't even know if I'm right now or anything, but uh, I mean, there's a lot of variance in Magic. So I mean, I just like to make fun of him because it's he's a very easy target, you know.
He is very easy. He has some of the most famous misplays on camera, and then he slaps himself in the face.
Yeah, yeah. His style of Magic is that every time he loses a match, he just finds something he could have done differently, and then says he made a mistake. But sometimes, even if it's correct, if his play was correct, he will say, "Okay, I lost because I did that." But I don't know. It's just his style. So
I had a similar competitiveness with Shahar, except I don't think he felt it with me. It was just I was jealous of Shahar.
yeah, I think I don't feel it that much either. Like Peter is very like the when I top eight my first PT, like we were roommates in university actually. So and then we like both quit school and he like got super motivated because I top eighted the pro tour. So I think that like lit a fire under him so he would like prove me that he can do it too.
Yeah,
And yeah, then he made platinum, but he never top eighted the pro tour. So I'm still waiting for that one.
yeah, he's kind of a Grand Prix master, but
Yeah. He won like four GPs, I think. So
you've won only one Grand Prix. What's up with that?
yeah, I don't know. It's not easy. How many did you win?
Three.
See, Peter has one more than you.
So it looks like you were playing more Grand Prix in 2011. When was your first Pro Tour?
I think 2012. Yeah, I qualified via top 16 at a GP. I think back then you qualified if you top 16 the GP, but they wouldn't pay for a flight. And then I qualified for a PT Honolulu, which I think back then I didn't even know where Honolulu is. And yeah, so I like my whole family like pitched in because it was after Christmas, I think. So for Christmas, I basically everyone just gave me some money so I could fly to Hawaii.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
that
It must have been very expensive.
yeah, it was super expensive. I think it kind of like screwed me a little bit because I like took a lot of money that I would instead use for like GP trips and stuff like that. So instead, I went to this pro tour and I lost play for money, which was like back then I would win $1,000, so it should be like a huge amount of money for me. And yeah, then I couldn't play many GPs in 2012 because I just couldn't travel. So I just didn't have money, and my family like wouldn't give me money because they just gave me money for Hawaii. So I think it would be very different if I didn't go to the pro tour. Maybe I would like break through earlier, or I don't know. Maybe I would never be like motivated to move to break through. So I don't know.
Were you 16 or 17?
I was 16. Yeah, it was like my first flight alone ever, and I was like super stressed out because I didn't speak very well English back then. I was like, okay, I could understand what people are saying, but I wasn't very proficient, I say. And I got like my flight got delayed, and I had to in Amsterdam. I had to like talk to some airline lady, and she would rebook my flight for the next day. So I had to sleep in Amsterdam, and I was really stressed out. And
Did you stay in the airport or get a hotel?
well, they gave me a hotel.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, and they like told me that I need to take some shuttle, and I remember I just got on the wrong shuttle, and I just like traveled around the city of Amsterdam, and I just got back to the airport. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm in the wrong shuttle. Yeah, that was a good time.
Did you have any job ever when you were a teenager?
No, I once like we had a friend of family who owns a restaurant, and my sister used to work as a waitress there. And when I was like 15 or 16, I was supposed to start working there too, but I went for like a tryout for one day, and I really didn't like it, so I never started working. It was just too much hard work, and I didn't like that. So I was just playing Modo, and I made some like money, some change playing that, so it was
Yeah,
fun.
like I think people in Brazil and Prague can make money on MTGO.
Yeah, I think I can like run make more money than my mom does in her day-to-day job if I just sit at home and play Magic Online all day long.
My first job was at Channel Fireball Warehouse, opening packs and alphabetizing the cards, and I quit after 2 days.
Yeah, I mean that's at least you do something like Magic. I think if I could like work at a card store, I would probably do that. Like I know Peter did, for example, but it just there was no card store in my hometown, so I never had that option.
So after the your first pro tour, were you very devastated and sad?
I wouldn't say I was devastated because I think I did pretty well. Like most people, they're like my goal was to like make day two, and I did that, and then I just lost playing for the money. And I felt like I was pretty close, and I was pretty happy with my performance, and most I was just like motivated to try and do better. Um, yeah, so I
Yeah,
think I wasn't devastated.
that is a good finish to make day two.
Yeah,
I didn't have a winning record my first 5 pro tours,
wow.
and I was also a very poor kid. So for my first pro tour, I sold all my cards to pay for the flight, and I borrowed
Yeah,
a deck. So it worked out pretty poorly.
yeah, that's a little similar for me. Yeah, I also wasn't very rich my young days.
Did you at that time where you said you were traveling alone, but were you friends with anyone playing the pro tour?
Well, I stayed with the Czech guys. I stayed with Stan and Ivan, but back then I didn't know them at all. Like the only person I knew was Lucas, and I didn't even know Lucas Blohan. I didn't even know Lucas that well, but I just asked if I can stay with them, and uh, and we did. And I remember we got like scammed on our like on our hotel that they booked through some like shady guy or something. I don't know. I remember it cost me like twice as much money as it should have because we get scammed. And yeah, so that was like the first time I met Ivan and Stan. But like we didn't become friends really or anything because we just spent like I don't know 3 days together in a hotel room and with a bunch of other people. So I didn't talk to them that much. But yeah, those are the people.
Were they high level pros already?
Yeah, I think it was off. No, it was. I think. Well, I mean, they were pretty high level. I don't know if it was after. I think it was before they both won the Pro Tour. I think I might be lying here, but
It,
it
it was
like they
before.
were.
It was before.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, they were like both pretty good at that point, and Lucas Blohan debated that Pro Tour, so he was also like we also had like Lucas Jiklowski, who like people don't really remember, I guess, but he was very good. He's I think one of the most talented players
He top
I've
aided
ever seen.
multiple pro tours.
Yeah, I think so. So he also was very good. And then like Martin Juza would always test with the Americans back then, so we wouldn't like play with him that much. But yeah,
And
these guys were good.
I know the Brazilians kind of don't like that Paulo tested with CFB. Did the Czech people feel that about Juza?
I don't think so because Martin. I don't know. I think it's because Czech Republic is smaller, so we would still see Martin a lot and we would talk to him. So Martin's also a very nice guy. So I don't think we felt that way. And then like eventually Martin also like left the Americans and then started really helping us out. Like for my next like for the first PT at Top 8, I tested just like Czech team around Martin. And so I don't think we felt that way.
So how did you qualify for the next Pro Tour?
The next PT I qualified, I won the mocks.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I remember it was like there was like a standard format around Return to Ravnica, and I know that they're like back then there were like this big Magic Online PTQs, like 500-ish people, and I know I top eighted back to back, but I lost in the finals and in the semifinals, so I was like super devastated. And then the week after that, I just won a Mox, even though it was like a block constructed and I didn't prepare at all. I just got a deck from Stan, and it's like 6-2 in the Swiss, and I snuck in on tiebreakers, and then I won the whole thing. So that was really really great.
I didn't even include that you were Mox winner
Oh
in your
yeah,
promotion.
yeah, but it was block constructed, so it doesn't really count. It's not the easy ones.
So were you were still young at that point? You're 18, 17.
Yeah, I think probably 17. And my second PT and the Mox, I both like did really poorly. Um, yeah, the second PT I know I didn't make day two, and I was testing just Ivan, Stan, and Lucas Jankowski. Back then I was like better friends with them already, so they like let me test with them. And I know that we like played like some red black control deck,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
which was weird, but I remember I went 0-4 and then I dropped, and the other guys went 14-1 combined on day one. The deck, so I was like, okay, I guess
Yeah, everyone was
I'm.
playing monocolored creature decks, and you were playing
Yeah,
removal and
yeah, it was like like Anger of the Gods, I think, or some similar card to that. And then I know we had like some 5/5 flying. I think it's like Stormbreath Dragon.
yeah,
I don't know.
desecration demon.
Yeah, and Read the Bones, I think, was like the key card as well.
Sounds like a
I
deck a
think.
casual player would make. Just
Yeah,
removal and dragon.
yeah, it was weird, but I think it was pretty good. And I don't know, I didn't play well. I wasn't very good at playing decks like that. So I think I left like regrets where I should have played. So I could have played Esper Control that like was very similar to what I qualified with, and I felt pretty comfortable playing. But I just was like, okay, these guys are playing red black. I should play red black too. But no, it went horrible.
That's pretty good that you were able to test with such good players right away.
Yeah, I think that's like I always said it's one of the things like areas where I think luck was a huge part of my career because I think you usually don't get lucky to be in such a great company for your first couple of tournaments. So like my PT card started really well because I already from the get go I was testing with like one of the best players on the tour, and I think that's just like a huge advantage you can get over anyone else. Because like if you break into the PT, you feel like play your couple first pro tour, you should just test with your friends, etc. And then after you break through, you like get picked up by the better teams. But if you have the option to do that right away, it's like amazing. Because my PT stats are not worsened by my like early pro tours where I just didn't know anyone and I got destroyed. Like already, like I top eight my third pro tour and then in the fifth one I top it again because I had a really really good decks and I knew how to draft. I was prepared. So yeah, I think I got very lucky in that way.
Even though you guys were four people, what did you do for draft?
Well, we always had like a draft camp in the Czech Republic that Martin would set up, and we was like, I don't know. I remember for that PT for the second one, we had like Frank Karsten coming in, and it was like super cool for me because it's like I can draft these Hall of Famers, and Yeah, so I always did really badly in the preparation drafts. There's like a joke that before every PT we had a boot camp, and this was like even after that with the Americans, I would always do so badly. I remember before the first PT I took it, I don't know, I played like some amount of drafts and my score was like 10-20 something. I would always have like twice as many losses as wins because the competition was like really strong. But I would always learn a lot, and then at the PT I never had a problem with draft, even though in like the Czech drafts I would always do poorly.
Yeah, that's really nice. I, when I qualified for my first few pro tours, I asked the local players if I could test with them, and even they wouldn't test with me, like the
Yeah.
PTQ winners. So.
Why would they test if you weren't you like super good already?
I was pretty good, but I wasn't very friendly.
Yeah, very good and very humble.
So your you top eight your third pro tour. Was that also in Hawaii?
Yeah, that was in Hawaii again, but this time around I got a flight, so that was easier. It was like I thought it was the year when I started university. I think I was in university for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I was pretty done with Magic at that point. I was like, I tried to qualify like throughout the summer because I didn't have anything to do, and it was in Hawaii, so I was like, okay, it's gonna be a fun holiday. Like Stan told me he has like some family friends in Hawaii where we could stay for 2 weeks or something, and like hang out and have a nice vacation. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and qualify. And then I qualified, but I was pretty busy with school already, and I wasn't sure if I should go because it would be a little expensive. I'd have to pay for like a hotel and everything, and I wasn't playing that much Magic, and I had a lot of schoolwork, and so I actually considered just not going at all, just letting like the flight go to waste. But Peter told me that it would be stupid, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try a little bit. But I mean, I have a lot of stuff to do for school, so I wasn't really preparing too much for that tournament. I just got lucky.
Does your family really value school?
Um, a bit, I guess. Yeah, like they like when I told them like after that PT at the pit, I got back to school and I was like, all I could think about was Magic and trying to do well at more tournaments because it's like it's very addictive doing well. I
Yeah, it
think
feels
some
really
people,
good doing well in tournament.
yeah,
Sometimes like being X1 around 13 feels better than even after your top 8.
yeah, exactly. So I was very like, I don't know, it was like fire lit under me, and I just couldn't. I was like, I went to the school and I had my lessons, and I just.
Stačí se kliknout, Majkouče.
Dole,
Dole
okay.
na tom někde. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, guys, this is Ivan. So where was I? I lost my train of thought completely.
You went back to school, but you were distracted.
Yeah,
Magic.
how I got distracted by Ivan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went back to school and I just all I could think about in the classes was just think about Magic and what deck I'm gonna play at the next GP. So after like a week, I like thought about it and I decided I would like put school on hold and try and do Magic. And if I failed, I could just go back to school. And so I broke it down to my parents. I remember I wrote like a letter where I like highlighted like what my goals are and if I fail, I'll go back to school and I like explained very like precisely. So and I just gave them the letter to read so they wouldn't like interrupt me after I like announced that I'm quitting school. And yeah, I remember like my dad took it pretty hard, I think, because it was very uncertain that this thing would work out, but I also felt like I wasn't losing much in my education if I just like postponed it for a year because I was still very young. And yeah, I think my dad kind of like was fearing that I would fail in Magic and I would just like waste a year of my life not doing anything basically. Because up to that point, all they would see is like me playing these tournaments and getting destroyed in these tournaments because I was playing throughout the whole high school and I never did well in anything basically. Even though I had some, I won the mocks and that was like nice, but in the end, it just it wasn't going anywhere. So I think they were just like afraid for me, but in the end, I think they were like pretty supportive.
Did you make top 8 or top 4 of Honolulu?
I lost into the base. Yeah.
Okay, so you still won like $10,000, right?
Yeah, I did. But like after taxes and I don't know all that, I think I didn't have that much money. Like I had money for like I don't know half a year or something.
Okay.
Which I mean, obviously in US you would not. I think you couldn't live on 10,000 for half a year, but in the Czech Republic you can. And like you live the whole year maybe, but like after taxes and everything, I like and splits and everything, I just did. I had like half of it or something, so I
That was
could live for
also
like half a year.
that was also when you first met Mike Siggy. You guys had a funny match where Siggy plays a spell, and then you turn your hand face up. You have a pump spell, and you're like, you're dead. And then he plays a top land that gains 1 life.
Yeah, that was a fun game because it was funny because we were like the side feature match, and like literally at that exact moment they switched to our game for me to like do that because it was weird because Siggy tapped out. He played like a spell that was all like both players sacrificed 2 creatures, I think, and one of my creatures had like when it dies effect. It was like when this creature dies, you gain 2 life, and I had like so Siggy had 1 creature that he was gonna sacrifice, and I had 3 creatures. One of them was a 4/4, and Siggy was at 7, and I had a +3/+3 trick in my hand, and so he taps out to play the spell, and I like bin my 2 creatures, leave the 4/4 in play, and then Siggy goes like, "So what is your life total?" Because it changed because of the 2/1. And I'm like, "Look, it doesn't matter. I have the +3/+3. You're dead." And then Siggy's like, "Wait. What is your life total?" And I'm like, "Look, old man. Okay, I'm gonna show you this card. It's 4/+3. You are dead. You're at 7. Okay." He's like, "Wait. Let's. Okay, what is your life total? It's 14, right?" I'm like, "Yeah. Whatever. It's 14. It doesn't matter. You're dead." And then he let's call me plays game 1 life that land and says go, and it looked like a fool. And that from that point, I think like I because like my last card in hand, the +3/+3, so and he had like a full grip. But then I just like my first draw set was Treasure Cruise, and I drew 3 cards, and then I managed to beat him in the end. But it's really funny.
that that is something that happened with Siggy. And then, so after you quit school, were you just playing Magic Online every day and trying to go to more Grand Prix?
Yeah. So pretty shortly after that, I think the beta happened sometimes in the fall, and at the start of the next year, like Stan, I had this idea that we would all move together and start like a stream team. Um, so we did. We tried. It was me, Stan, Ivan, Lucas Blohan, and KK, who's like our roommate who basically does everything for us. He's like our I don't know. He's like our accountant. He's like the guy who helps us with everything. Like if you know, like I don't know, our shower breaks, he fixes it. If our internet doesn't work, he fixes it. So he's very smart and he's very talented. So he always does this stuff. So we all moved in together and started streaming. And
Was
back
Magic
then I think
streaming popular? It's
no,
really popular now. But
yeah, it wasn't really, but I think we like did a big mistake. I think our idea was pretty good, but I think if we started streaming Hearthstone instead, we would be like I don't know, like rain out. You know, I think the idea was solid, but just Magic back then wasn't that popular. I think it's gotten way more popular now with Arena. Um, but back then it wasn't good. Also, our English wasn't very good back then, so no one really watched. Um, but it was interesting to like try and start a business. I think for Stan, it was a big lesson. Things working in the world because he was like basically the finance guy behind it all. So he financed everything, and it kind of didn't work out. But after that, me, Ivan, Stan, and KK decided to stick together and live together. And now after 5 years, we still are. Even though Ivan for a couple of years he moved back to Bratislava, now he's back with us, and yeah, so that was really good for me because I liked it. I think it helped me a lot to improve because I would always like stream and play with those guys, and I would have 3 world-class players. I would have Stan, Ivan, and Lucas Bohan, and they all have like different play styles, and I would always like learn something from each and every one of them. So I think that was like the biggest improvement I ever had like back then. I think that the first time I played a Pro Tour, I was not very good. I just like the whole tournament was like just every single round I would like make a huge punt. They would like potentially lose me the game, but then I would top deck and it would not matter, you know?
It feels really
And
nice when that happens.
yeah. So that was like it's just it was insane. I just couldn't lose. But after I think the second PT I played it, which was like half year after that, I think I just like played pretty well. Like I think I was not making many mistakes and I had a good deck and I just like learned a lot in that couple of months period where we had this I think it was like 3 months or something before we decided it was not working out and I think I learned a lot.
Are you in the same house originally?
No, we moved houses a couple times since then. Yeah, that was like one of the biggest hassles was trying to get a house that would like accommodate all our needs. And yeah, so yeah, we moved a bunch. We even didn't live in Prague for a while. Like the original house was in Prague, and then we moved to like a countryside, and then we moved back to Prague because it's just so convenient with all the flying and everything. So yeah, now we live in Prague.
So your second top 8 was Dragons of Tarkir. You played
Yeah.
mono green, ramp.
I was green red actually.
Oh, green red. You play Xenagos.
No, I played. I played Xanagos in sideboard, but I had Dragon Lord Tatarka.
Oh, okay.
It's the
Yeah, that was the Pro Tour where they had that dumb dragon counter.
yeah, they had a drum third counter, and I had like a game where in against Shotega second in the debate where we would every single turn for like 5 turns, I think it was, we would just play a dragon. It was like I played Dragon Lord Tarka, he played Dragon Lord Silver, I think, to steal my Tarka. I played another Tarka, he would steal it again, then he would play another dragon. It was a wild match, but yeah,
And
that was a great tournament.
that time you made top 4.
Yeah, that time I lost to Showdown in top 4,
And
fortunately.
Thomas Hendricks also made top 8. Were you friends with him at that time?
Not really. He was testing with us, but he was Frank Carson's friend, and I didn't really know Thomas back then, and so like we wouldn't communicate that much throughout the tournament. And I knew that he like I had like conversation with him at like round, I don't know, 4 or 5, and I knew he was like 2-2 or 2-3 even, I don't know. And then I was like, I meant to like check that out in my head. Okay, that guy's doing poorly. He's probably not gonna do well. And then at some point, like before the top 8, like I like met up with him. I was like, so how did your tournament go? You dropped, right? And he's like, no, I just won them in an end. I'm at top 8. I was like, okay. Yeah. So, but right now I think like we like me and Thomas are very very good friends, and he's an amazing guy. So I was always very happy to see him do well, and now I'm better informed. Like anytime he does well, I always know. So
you made top 8 2 out of your first 5 Pro Tours, and you won a Mox. Did you think was your confidence really high?
Not really, because I still saw that all these players are much better than me. That I still knew I had a lot to improve on. Like I mentioned, for example, I was still losing in the drafts in house, so I couldn't claim that I was very good. So I was mostly still worried that this is just a fluke, because back then it was just like 2 PT top 8s, like 2 tournaments where, especially in the first one, I knew that everything just went my way, and the second one I had a really good deck. I had a good drafting strategy, and I also got very lucky. So I think I don't have much problem with like seeing that I just got lucky, and I hope it didn't go to my head that much. I think like in some ways it might have, but I sometimes even try to like act more confidently, because I think confidence is important in a game like Magic. And but I never felt like I was like super super good, and that I was just gonna win everything all the time.
I think shortly after this time is when I went back to Team Face to Face. When did you join Team Face to Face? Like a few Pro Tours later.
I think like a whole no, it was because after I think it was like 2 or 3 PTs after I top 8 for the second time. Because after that, after my second top 8, Stan slowly started playing Hearthstone, and without Stan, I think the Czech testing team got a lot worse because he would always be the one who builds the decks. And I also wasn't super happy with like the work ethic Martin and like Peter had. Um, and I like back then I really wanted to prove that I like that it wasn't a fluke, that all my P top 8s aren't a fluke, and that I can stay platinum for another year. So I know that like my second PT top 8 was the third Pro Tour of the season, and back then it was like 4 PTs per season. So I finished the season there, and then I played the first Pro Tour still with the Czechs. And after the first Pro Tour, I did really poorly because we had a terrible deck. I was like, okay, I want to change it. And then at Worlds that year, I spoke to Hayne about joining face to face, and then I remember I was about to like message I think either Hayne or Paolo if me and Ivan can join, and on the day I was planning to message you guys, I just instead got a message from Hayne asking if I want to join, which was really nice. And then I was like, okay, I want to join, but I also would like to bring in Ivan, and supposedly that was the reason why I got in.
Nice.
Because everyone wanted to test Ivan, but I don't know if that's true. That's just what they say, so they can make fun of me. But yeah, then we joined a team face to face. I think that was like a big step in my career because I know I found a lot of friends there, like some of my closest friends even, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was my first Pro Tour back with face to face. I briefly left to join Pantheon. But it was a
Hello?
really. Are we?
Can you hear me, Jacob?
I can hear you. Are we good again? Okay, we're gonna take a quick pause and recall. Sorry about that. Let's call again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. I don't know what that was. I can hear you.
I think it was my internet connection.
Oh, it's bad?
Yeah, it's quite bad.
Oh.
Do you have good internet there?
What?
Do you have good internet in your house?
Well, I think it could be better given the fact that we moved here so we could stream more, but it's not that good. Yeah,
Okay.
but
So what I was saying is we both joined Team Face to Face again at the same time. It was a really strong team. We had Paulo, who's one of the best players ever. We had you and Ivan, Sam, Party, Matt Naz. We had Andrea Mengucci, who's really
Matt Naz wasn't there at the beginning.
okay. He wasn't.
Yeah. But, yeah. It was
We had
pretty
Hayne.
great. Yeah, we think.
John
Like
Steyer.
back then, all these people were like super motivated to do well.
Yeah, we
because
were
it's
like all full-time players. No one had a job or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, and that first PT testing, I think it was like the best experience I ever had on the Pro Tour. I remember we got this house in Vancouver, I think, and it was really awesome.
Yeah, we had a big house in Vancouver, even though the Pro Tour was in Atlanta.
Yeah. And that was the Eldrazi PT, and we like did absolutely insane in that tournament. So
How did you finish?
that was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that one. Does it work?
Yeah, my internet's really bad, but can you hear me again?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can.
So the last thing I heard you say uh, it was a really good experience,
Yeah,
and
it was. I think it was my like favorite both to test for and be a part of because we did so well in the tournament. And everyone was doing so well, and everyone talked about how we broke it. And I don't think I ever felt that strong or like that solid about my deck. Like I don't know, it was just so easy. But I didn't top eight because I did pull in draft, but
what?
I don't think I've ever had such a good deck in PT ever again.
How did you finish?
I went 10-6.
Yeah, not bad. And we had 3 people on our team in the top 8, and like 6 more in top 16.
Yeah. It was great because Iman was one of the people who top it, so I was really happy for him that changing the teams worked out for us because he top it. And yeah, that was just great. And then after that we had the PT where we played the green white tokens, which again I think we had the best deck by a lot, and I
You
lost.
you almost made top 8.
Yeah, I lost playing my win and end. Yeah, and I cried a little bit after that. It was really sad.
Had you cried from Magic before?
uh, I think that may have been like the first series one because it was I remember we had like there was the top eight announcement where you always had that PT top eight was like so good. Like I think it was Finkel, Steve Rubin, Mengucci, Seth,
Shota,
yeah, Shota,
Brad.
Brad. It was like an insane. I think it was the best top eight I've ever seen, and I
Oh,
was like just so sad. I was just so sad I could not be part of it because I really wanted to, beat all these good players in top eight, and yeah, I cried a little bit, but it was okay. It was like obviously the tournament still went super well for me. Like if before the PT, if you were asked if you are okay with top 16, I think I would always say yes, that's a good finish. I'm happy with that, and I also like platinum, I think. So that was like I was still very happy because my goal for the season was to achieve platinum, and I managed to do that in that tournament. So yeah, I was still pretty happy.
Did you make platinum like every year after your first year?
No, just this one.
Okay.
So it's two platinums in a row. But I qualified for Worlds. I had a one P. I had one top eight this year. I top eighted one GP, and that was it for Worlds. Like I managed to make. I had more pro points. That's easy. Even though I top eighted only one GP than the previous one where I top eighted the two pro tours
Wow.
because I would just constantly do well, and yeah, that felt very good.
How'd you do at Worlds that year?
Well, I always lose badly at Worlds.
It's a
I
tough
went
tournament.
Yeah, I went 0-6 in draft at that one. That was not the greatest. And I also felt pretty good about the format, and I just got to win. So that was a weird experience. But yeah, Worlds is just so hard.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah, it is. That's probably one of the most demoralizing tournaments you can play in because it's like a small field, and I remember especially that one. It's a small field, and most of the people do there are like doing really badly in the tournament because there's like 24 people it was I think, and only four of them did well because that's the top eight, the top fours, and everyone else is just sulking because they just wasted a month of their life trying their best to prepare for this event, and then they just lose. And we had like a lounge, players lounge, and before the top four, everyone would just be there, and everyone would just like, "Oh my god, this is horrible! I can't believe I've done so poorly. Magic sucks." And yeah, the atmosphere there is kind of depressing. But then we go back home and realize the Magic is still great, and then there's always the next tournament you can play for, and yeah,
Yeah, people who have just gone into Magic this year and watched Worlds this year, it used to be a lot different. It used to be 4 different formats, so
yeah,
everyone prepared for like a month to learn all these formats. And there was no elimination. You would play all 14 rounds even if you were 0 and 13. Just had to keep
yeah.
playing.
Yeah, it's weird because you would get one pro point per win, so you could never drop even though you like start 0-6, you can still like do really well. You can still basically win a GP that week or something. Because if you just win the next 8, you get 8 pro points, which is huge. But yeah, it's a rough tournament because you have to keep playing at like bad records while normally just stop and you drop and you move on to the next tournament, but you just have to keep playing and keep getting crushed. It's rough.
And then I know the next season you made top 16 again with ridiculous deck with zombies.
No, yeah, that was still the same season. I think
Oh,
it was
really?
after after the green white.
So yeah,
And yeah,
our team was doing so well. We had a bunch of decks. You did. You played the team deck twice, and then one time
yeah,
we were playing
yeah.
green
Then
black mid range, and you chose to play zombies.
I played zombies because it was good against company. And I remember that PT, me and Lucas Blohan, who was testing for the Czech guys, we were 2-2, and we sit next to each other, and we were both complaining about how bad our constructed deck is. Because he was playing like some black white control that just didn't have any good matchups in the format, and my deck could only beat Bad Company, and I thought it would be like half the field, and instead it was like I don't know 20%. And I was like, okay, our deck sucks so bad. What are we gonna do, Lucas? Because we were A, racing for the Czech captaincy at the World Magic Cup, and B, we were trying to qualify for Worlds. And then after that like match at 2-2, which is like a pretty bad start, I would top 16 that Pro Tour, and Lucas would go and win it all. So that was pretty funny. Even though we both felt our decks were bad, we both did really well at them because I don't know, I kept playing against the bad matchups, and I would just get incredibly lucky in like every single possible way, and I would just win. Yeah. Back then, it used to be very easy.
Yeah, that was the Pro Tour. Lucas Blohan, he won, and then his ELO rating was 2400. It was the record at that point.
That's insane.
Were you ever on the Czech national team?
Yeah, that first year,
Well,
I was actually.
I missed another thing in your introduction. Czech national captain.
Oh yeah, I was. I didn't really like the World Magic Cup very much because it forced you to play with players who qualified, even though they might not have been your friends, and you would never actually pick them to play with you. Like I got pretty lucky. I think I had a good team. I played like Lucas and some other two pretty good guys, but I still didn't really like it, and we did pretty poorly. We didn't make day 2. We lost to Malta. We're playing for day 2 or something, which was very funny because these we were like try hard pros, and these guys from Malta were like, yeah, this is our first big event. We didn't even play Grand Prix, so that was funny. But yeah, I didn't like the Magic World Cup very much, and I wasn't that sad that I got to miss it every year. Basically, after that, I just played that one time.
Yeah, the World Magic Cup, for anyone who doesn't know, isn't that competitive of a tournament. They have like costume contests. They give money to like people who dress up, and it doesn't even matter how many wins and losses you have. Like, it just matters if you win the last round.
Yeah, the tournament structure there is just crazy, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that event. I know like Ivan loves it because the Team Slovakia always does super well because it's basically just Ivan playing three matches at the same time, and he's really good at that for some reason, which I don't understand. But I don't know. I didn't personally like it.
So things have been going pretty well at this point, but then at some point you're famous for retiring from Magic. What happened there?
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, but so that season after that, I still tried pretty hard to play Magic, but I don't know. Our team stopped producing broken decks. I think it had a lot to do with the start of the team series, which is weird because
that was awful.
How does the best team in the world just get destroyed by team series starting? But the way it worked, we had to like split up, because it was like a team series where you would have to have 6 players in our team, and so we would have to create like 2 teams with 6 people each, and then we had to argue endlessly who's going to be on what team. Some people left the team because of that. Like I think John Stern leaving the team was super bad news for us because he was always the guy who did everything. He would like figure out the accommodation, he would figure out the cards, he would figure out how to test properly, and I think that hurt us a lot. Like we had to add some people that weren't, I think, good fit for the team, and overall we just started doing really poorly. And that season, I finished as a gold player. I didn't get to make platinum again, which was after 2 years of platinum, after 2 years of playing worlds, I felt like I could do that. But I think like at the start of the season I didn't prepare as much as I should have, and that towards the end I just there's always mostly there's just only 4 pro tours, and if you don't do well at those, it's really hard to have a good season. And that year I just didn't, so it was rough. So I finished gold, and then the season after that I kind of stopped playing Magic completely. I started playing Gwent, which some of you may know because it's the Witcher's card game. And so it was it was like a side game in Witcher 3, which is one of the best games I've ever played. So I would highly recommend playing that. But they like made a spin-off of that, just like a regular game of Gwent. And the company behind Witcher's game, CDPR, they like made basically a competitive circuit. And I wanted to break through there, so I spent like half a year playing just Gwent and basically no Magic. And I failed at that because their like whole system was basically based on the first 8 players in the world, or like 10 players in the world, get paid very well, and then no one else gets anything. And I was like 15th best, so I was like a little short of being the best. And that was like a half a year where I just didn't play any Magic. And then I just basically ran out of money and I had to retire. So that was the first retirement announcement.
So did you go and get a job, or want to go back to school, or live with your parents? What did you do?
Well, I wasn't. Well, I tweeted out there was like a PT at the end of the season. I played like 4 Pro Tours as well. Half of the year I was I was considering Gwent. So I played, basically I played the PTs, but I wasn't trying to do well. I wasn't like, for some of them, I just wasn't even testing. I just picked up a deck and played it. Which obviously, when you're playing against the best players in the world, it's not what you want to be doing. It's not going to bring you good results. So I tweeted out that this is my last Pro Tour. I am only silver because I didn't do well at all that season. And I can't really afford to fly to the next PT if I don't get a flight. So I was like, okay, I'm going to play this one last GP, which is in Prague. And then after that, I'm going to start trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. Like, do I go back to school? Do I start working? I got a lot of help from like Stan and my other roommates who like basically told me that I can, work with them, and I don't have to pay the rent, and I can just, I'll just have like a couple of months to figure out what I want to do. So I went to that last GP, and I was like, okay, I'm going to play this. I prepared pretty well for it, I think. And I played it, obviously, because what else?
Advanced Spirits?
Yeah. I think that back then the deck was really, really good in Modern. I think now it's unplayable in Modern, which is funny how Modern's changed a lot in these past couple of years. Which I think it was like, I don't know, a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And then I after like 2 or 3 weeks after that, I flew to Stockholm, which was the last PT of the season. And I needed to go 12 and 3 there to make gold, which would, secure me flights for the PTs. And I won the GP. So I made gold, and I, won $1,000 again. So I was, I wasn't struggling financially all of a sudden again. And yeah, then I started playing Magic again, and I did pretty well in year 2019. I did all right, I would say.
Yeah, it's nice that you had Stan and KK at the beginning and at the middle to help you.
Yeah, I always said like this is really good that I always have my friends that I can rely on. I think I've been really lucky to have that. And then also in 2019 I started dating my girlfriend, and in 2018 I started dating my girlfriend, and that also I think helped a lot. You have someone to rely on, which I didn't have in that like area. I just had friends, but I have a girlfriend that is there to support you emotionally. I think like Magic is it's a mental game basically. So you need to have your mental game on a good level, and I think it's an important part of it. And if you don't, you just are gonna struggle. So I think that helped me a lot too.
Yeah, that's nice that you have a good relationship now. We could talk about dating and Magic. We both like dropped out of school, and normally when people are like 18 to 20 is when they're like dating a lot of people. But
Yeah,
we were both just playing Magic, not really around people our own age.
yeah. For me, it was like always pretty awkward because I don't know. I wasn't very good at socializing because I didn't. I felt like I would socialize a lot if I stayed at university, but then I dropped out, and I think it's really hard for me to find friends because I'm not very extroverted and I don't really like going out as much. So if you spend your days sitting in front of the computer, it's really hard to find someone. And yeah, I just got lucky, I think, in that area as well. I found someone who I have a very good connection with. So it's definitely something that wasn't very easy for me. And
Yeah,
I assume for you either, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Going back I guess so. After you retired, then you had a lot of really good tournaments, and then they announced the Mythic Invitational on Arena. You made top 8 of the ladder.
Yeah.
That was probably very stressful last day.
Not that much because I really like that. I really like that. Obviously, it's easy for me to say because I managed to top 8, but I was even tweeting before on the final day where I was doing well. I just and before I knew I was gonna finish in top 8, I was tweeting that I really liked having something to compete for. And I'm sad that the current ladder doesn't have anything like that. I think it's very important that you go into this grind with like a attitude of this is not gonna happen. There's no chance. Um, and then like even if I fail, I think I would not be that disappointed because I just really enjoyed. Like I really for me, I really enjoy competing. I remember back when I was playing Gwent and I didn't play that much Magic. I was just going to tournaments and I was losing. And then there was there was a Czech Nationals tournament where I went 5-0 into 5-3, but I was just so happy that I was doing well in that tournament. Like at some point I was 5-0 and it looked like I was going to top 8, and I just felt so excited about doing well at that point that I wasn't even sad to like end up poorly because the feeling of okay, I'm doing well, the tournament's going well for me. It's like very important for me. So I think even if I failed in the qualifier, I would still be happy that I was like in contention at some point. Like there was like at some point there was a match where I played, and if I lost, I would not make it, and if I won, I would make it, which I guess there's always in Magic tournaments. But I just like getting into these spots, and no matter if you win or lose, I think for me the I don't know, the process is more important.
Yeah, it's one of like the most exciting things in Magic is playing the win.
And so I don't think it was that stressful for me. I remember like refreshing and having a lot of discussions whether I should queue up again or if I should hope that it holds because I finished 7th and in the ladder, and there could be someone in the last second who like knocks you out, but I think it was a good obviously it was a good decision not to play anymore, and it worked out.
And then you got 4th place at the Invitational.
Yeah. So for the Invitational, I would prepare with KK, and then I would play this against Ivan, and so like me and KK would have like this daily routine where we would go to sleep, we would wake up, and then we would play separately on ladder like 4 hours. Then we would play 4 hours against either Ivan or Hein, and then we would play 4 hours on ladder again, and we would have every day we would have like an hour conversation. What do you think? And I think that tournament I prepared so much, it was pretty insane. Like I felt like I don't know. I was very motivated to do well because it was going to be the biggest tournament ever, and yes, I really wanted to do well.
It was $1 million, only 64 players.
Yeah, and it was insane. Like that experience was really cool. I think the format was not very good, obviously, like even after all this preparation, I don't think it was possible to have actual like edge
Yeah, all
in
the
the deck
pros
building.
played the same deck. So
Yeah, it was just like Esper was by far the best, and everyone was gonna play Esper, and then the other decks were like mono red or mono white basically, and I don't know, I felt like mono red is better against mono white. Um, but like it didn't matter that much what you played. Like I think I just played pretty well in that tournament in various spots, but I also got incredible. Like again, you need always at any point where you do well in tournament, you've just gotten lucky. You know, that's just how Magic works. You just need to get lucky, and I definitely did it in that tournament.
so it was definitely good that you won some money from the tournament, but it was kind of a weird tournament. It didn't give you any points or anything. So you still
Yeah,
have to have a really good year to make the MPL.
yeah. That was a weird part of it. I think it actually just kind of gave me some points because I then got a special invite to one of the arena PTs, which I don't think would happen if it wasn't for the invitational. And also, right after I got back from the invitational, obviously the invitational was an incredible success for Magic and Arena. We had like insane amount of views, and then they also released the War of the Spark trailer, which had insane amount of views on YouTube. And I think it just got everyone super hyped on Arena. And so when I got back home, I immediately started streaming, and yeah, so I think that tournament also like helped me to get into the MPL because I got a special invite, and in the end I got into the MPL because of that, because of those extra points I got in that tournament, even though I did poorly, but I think it helped a little bit.
And you're back to streaming now, right? Most
Yeah,
days.
yeah. So after I made an MPL, I decided not to stream anymore. That I would prepare, but I just find out that I'm not enjoying playing Magic that much without the stream. So actually, it like led to me playing less Magic, and even when I was playing Magic, I was like pretty distracted. So I decided to start streaming again, and I've been enjoying it. So
What tournaments did you do well in? Obviously, you won the MC, but you must have got points from other tournaments this year.
um, well, not really. I mean, I qualified, so I got a special invite to one of the Arena Pro Tours, and then I qualified for another one, which is not that easy. You need to do
You
well.
have to go 10-1, which is very hard.
No, it was back then was you need to go like
Oh yeah, it was 2 days. Sorry, my bad.
yeah. So you need to go like 7-2, I think, and then you need to go 5-1 or 4-1.
And
I
you
think.
guys broke the format again with Kethy's deck.
Yeah, I don't think we broke it that much. It was just we got very lucky that no one found it before us. I think the deck was like a solid tier one deck, but eventually when people knew about it, um, it was not that good. It was not like a broken deck. But in that tournament, like no one had any idea what was happening. Like I remember on day two in the competition, I played against some person who like completely smashed me. But then we like talked a little bit about the games, and they asked me a question which made it like totally obvious that they don't understand what my deck was doing at all, like how the combo worked. They were like, okay, so if you played at Mox at some point, you would win, right? And I was like, no, I would still need these two cards to actually kill you because they just like didn't know how it worked because it's not a very easy deck to even understand what's happening when you first play against it or something. But I think that gave us a lot like a big advantage because people just had a bad understanding of how that worked. I think that deck was like it was basically a value deck where you would try to stall the game as long as possible, like at any cost. Like you would try it and stall, and then eventually you would win. It was very similar to like Rally Ancestors back in the day, where you just like trade some cards in the early game, and then eventually you would find a rally and you would win. And this was very similar with Kathas instead. So yeah, that tournament I did well in, and then I just mostly did medium. I had medium finishes at the tabletop PTs. I think I won like 9-7 once, and that was it. Then I think I didn't make day two once, and I just dropped at some other PT, and then it all came down to the last one.
Yeah, it's good MC to do well.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you that you made the MPL and that you did well. But what do you think you would have done if, when you were gonna retire, you didn't do well at those Grand Prix?
What would I do? I have no idea, honestly. Like, I think I would just work with Stan
Okay.
on something. Like back then, he was very into streaming Hearthstone, and um, well, the main goal was to switch into Artifact, and Artifact was supposed to be the next big thing. At least we thought so. But then obviously it turned out to be the biggest fail ever. I think. I don't think any. I haven't seen any game fail this spectacularly.
It came
So
from like the
we
biggest game company in the world and still couldn't do well.
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought it was going to be really good because it was behind like Valve, has insane amount of money, and we thought the game was pretty good, and that Valve would try and make it very popular, but we were just costly wrong, and it was kind of sad because we did put a lot of months and months of work into it, and yeah, just sometimes it doesn't work out, which is weird for like we put a lot of work into game, like especially on the content side. Like we tried to prepare a lot of content for when Artifact got released, so people would like get good at the game from the get go, and they would like be used to getting all this information from our house, from like basically from Stan, and then it just didn't work out.
So now you're trying to do your Czech Magic House round two. You, Yvonne, and Stan, all PT winners, and you make content there now, right?
Yeah, so we have this website, checkmagichouse.com, that KK made for us. Yeah, so we've been doing that. I've been streaming, and I don't know, it's weird making content because we like it's hard for us because we don't want to like the MPL actually brought a lot of money into pro play, and it's a very good job now, I think. And so we're making content, and the MPL wanting us like we need to be secretive with the MPL. Like for example, next week I have that we have the Mythic Point Challenge, and we'll be playing standard, and I get people asking me what is the best against standard, and I like right now I don't know, but also if I knew I can't really tell them because if I had some broken deck I would just want to hide it because there's a lot of money on the line. So I mean the content creation kind of clashes with that. Like we can't always be 100%. I don't want to say honest because I don't think we're being dishonest, but we are going to say sorry, we can't share this information with you now. We're not going to tell you. No, we think Monred is the best deck, so we can play like an anti-Monred deck in tournament in the world. We're not going to do that, but we can't like share everything, which is not good for the like content side. Like I know that, for example, Jerry T, I think he's doing great things with his podcast, but I think it cost him his pro career basically. But I think it's a conscious choice and it works for him. But I'd rather be competing right now because I think that's where I personally can make the most for my career. So even though we have the website, I think we're mostly concentrating on, for me, staying in MPL and for Stan and even Ivan at this point getting into MPL.
Yeah, are they both qualified for the Invitational?
Yeah, so Stan is in Rivals, so he's qualified for the Invitational, and then Ivan won the qualifier a couple of weeks ago, which is great.
Yeah, that's pretty nice that all three of you can prepare.
Yeah, because like especially for Ivan, because he's been struggling lately. I think he's also on the brink of retirement. I think this was also his like last Hail Mary this tournament. If he didn't do well here, I think he would probably have to stop playing Magic. So hopefully, the coronavirus situation changes and we actually get to play these tournaments.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a long break from in-person tournaments. Like, did you see the Olympics got canceled?
What?
Did you see the Summer Olympics got canceled?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
So,
yeah. I think nothing's gonna happen for next.
They'll run Magic tournaments this summer.
Yeah. Well, I think in August they might or something, but we were supposed to have like a PT in Prague. They had like moved it here and it's supposed to be like 2 months, and I think there's no chance that's gonna happen or maybe there will, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be 8 players, eight Czech people in the van.
Yeah. There's
So
pretty strong Magic even outside of Czech Republic and Poland and
yeah, I think I think Europe as a whole is doing really well in Magic now. Like 10 people in MPL are from Europe. We've been doing well in like I don't know all the international tournaments. Like for example, the Mythic Invitational, it was just the four was for Europeans. So yeah, I think the Europeans are doing pretty well in Magic these days.
do you have any favorite destinations from Magic?
Well,
Trips?
I really do like Hawaii. I think it's a great place, but I think I'm becoming a little old because I really hated the fact that I have to fly there for 25 hours. Um,
Yeah, flying's
but
not good.
yeah, I used to really not care about flying. I actually kind of liked it. 'Cause it's like I like watching movies and reading books, and usually I didn't do that very much because when I have the internet, I just rather play Magic. But Jacob, we are not the young lads we used to be.
Yeah, I'm you're a little bit younger than me. But, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm 24.
yeah, yeah, me too. So yeah, we're getting there, closer to the getting closer and closer to 30, and that's where it's at. That's where it ends. Is what I hear here from my friends. Are all at 30, it all goes downhill. So you have 5 more years of the good life.
Okay. I think this is like the peak of your career and life now.
I think so too. I honestly think like last year was so amazing. I'm still waiting for like I don't know. I always think of myself as a very fortunate individual, and that one day I'm just gonna get hit by a car and something's gonna happen to me, something like that. Um,
You are quite a bad driver. Do you drive anymore?
I do drive. I don't think I'm that bad driver. I'm just really bad at parking. I recently did destroy one of our cars when I was trying to park into the garage. I just crashed. Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah, I hit a pole the other day. I was trying to park
Uh,
in reverse.
yeah. Well, in America, you have it easy because your cars make sounds and you have the cameras, don't you?
Yeah, I have a camera in my car and I still hit a
Oh,
pole.
that's unfortunate, but can't say it didn't happen to me. So yeah, I'm like afraid that something's gonna happen at some point. Because I do think I've been incredibly lucky these past 24 years. So we'll see. Hopefully I keep getting lucky.
I think some people are just lucky and that's okay.
Yeah, like Shahar. you know,
A lot of the people in the MPL are lucky people.
that is true. That is true.
All right. Well, I'm glad to talk to you and hope you had a good time.
Yeah,
So people
I had a
can
great time.
people can follow you on Twitch, Ondrej.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. It's just my name, Ondrej Strasky. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. I've been recently very active on Instagram. I actually hired a person to do it for me. So go follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to break through on Instagram.
Okay, I'll put your Instagram as the first link, and then
Yeah,
you
so it's
also have
important.
you also have the Czech Magic
Yeah,
House.com,
check my yeah, and then we have a Patreon. Check Magic House too.
Patreon/Czech Magic House.
I don't know if that's the actual, but it is under Czech Magic. If you just type into Google Patreon Czech Magic House, it should be there. Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, you have the Mythic Point Challenge coming up. Are you gonna stream it?
So what I've been doing is I just record my games and then stream it the day after.
Okay, so
Or
that'll be even more educational for the people wanting to get
yeah.
better.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that like next Sunday. And this weekend I'm gonna stream the Magic Fest online. Yeah, we are supposed to stream that if you want to play. Like the MPL and Rivals got invited under the condition that we stream it, so I'm gonna stream that one. So it's pretty exciting.
And that's all
I'm-
standard, right?
Yeah, everything's standard because you can't play anything else on Arena.
Yeah.
I guess I refuse to believe that historic is a thing. Even though I keep hearing people saying it's great, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
All right. Well, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Are you gonna play too?
I did not qualify.
Oh, he didn't make the 1200
No.
requirement. Oh, it's a shame.
I also did not make top 200 mythic points. I was 1 point short.
Oh shit. Oh, that is unfortunate. Sorry.
Okay.
So is this it?
Yeah.
Did you stop recording?
No.
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna play Magic or what are your plans?
Yeah, I'm playing Magic. I mean, I made top 8 of the first Pro Tour, so if
That is
the-
true.
If the rest of the season gets canceled, I can be in Rivals.
Oh. Did you just make top 8 or did you win there? Did you top 4?
Top 4.
Oh, so then you are a rival, right?
Yeah,
I assume.
everything ended right now.
Oh, yeah, right. I mean, sucks. I mean, rivals might get cancelled.
Okay.
Totally. Just wiped out. I don't know what's gonna happen with Magic, but I think the financial crisis we're about to enter might hurt it a little bit.
Yeah, Magic is just a hobby for people with extra money, so
Yeah. If people don't have money, they come buy Magic cards, and then MPL is gonna be cancelled too, and yeah, it's the end of the world as we know it.
okay. Well, I think your personality and lifestyle should do well in the quarantine.
It is fine for the quarantine. I'm not complaining. I didn't notice a difference. I think I go out more often than I did before because I'm going on walks every day with my girlfriend. She's not.
Are the streets crowded?
No, not really. Well, I'm going to the park, but
Yeah, I go to the park every day and I'm able to stay away from people.
yeah, like you don't. I went to the shop today. It was a little scary, but I don't know. It's fine. Like, it's kind of boring. The whole world is being put on hold, and I don't love it. But what can you do? Can't do much. So are you gonna be a Magic Pro, or are you gonna? What is your source of income now? Is it gonna be this podcast?
I just lose money every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I live in basically the Czech Republic of the United States, so I'll be okay.
It's still like 10,000 more expensive.
I think our rent is probably similar,
What is your rent?
like 600.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, I'm paying like 400 now.
And I have like an indoor pool. And
Wow. That's
but it's
decent.
closed for coronavirus. So.
Oh, so you don't have it in the pool. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do with your life?
Well, that's why I made the podcast, so at least I have something to do every week.
So you don't get bored. So did you have any other guests, or am I the first one?
You're the 4th one. I have
Ooh.
Hayne, Matt, and Sam.
Oh, but so when are they gonna get released?
They got released just now,
Oh wait, really? When?
right before I called you.
Oh, gotta check it out. You release three podcasts at a time.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
not typical. Do you have any suggestions for other guests?
I don't know. You could get Paulo,
Yeah, number
the
one.
world champion,
$1 million in earnings.
number one luckiest.
He has like 16 Pro Tour top 8s and 0 top 16s.
I know he's the luckiest of all time by so much.
You have a
I
bunch
know.
of top 16s, right?
2, yeah. Just 2. I have 3 top 8s, 2 top 16s. I don't know. Paulo is so lucky. Who else could you get? I mean, you could get CE.
Yeah, he's a bit busy with the coronavirus.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Anyone like can get Ben White.
Could get Ben Whites.
Could talk about how it is to be a middle ground pro, you know?
Yeah,
How's
I
that?
was trying to start out with the high pros. But
Yeah, I'm sure you could get better.
okay.
He would be excited, definitely. I don't know who else. Ivan. I can talk to Ivan for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume you can get anyone, Jacob.
All right.
Everyone will love to talk to you.
Yeah,
You know.
so
You're such a nice guy.
yeah. Well, there are a few people who have been mean too.
Very few. Okay, I think I'm gonna go sleep now.
Okay. Yeah,
Or
Andre
play.
was very nice. He woke up to do this. So
Yeah,
have a good night.
yeah. So thank you, Jacob. I hope this podcast goes well. And see you. Good night.
See you in maybe 1
Bye
year.
bye. Yeah, once you can travel. Yesterday I got my visa for America. So
How long
that's
does it
exciting.
last?
A year.
Okay, well, hopefully you get to use it.
Well, till the end of 2020, I guess. So we'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
Good
Bye bye, Jacob. Good night.